And so I don't think there's much fact digging to do here. So what they now have to do is apply their code of conduct and their bylaws to the facts that they know and come up with what they think is an appropriate consequence, if any, as it relates to Will Smith and his Academy membership, maybe his Oscar, although I don't think so, and how they will go forward with whether he attends future Oscars.
But this did violate the code of conduct, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay, just want to get that out of the way. So he went on to win, right? Less than an hour later, the producers knew that he was going to win. Did that play into their decision not to just take him out of there, even if the police didn't do it?
It's interesting what they would have been considering. I'm sure there was a quick huddle. Now, they didn't have much time between the slap and the time that he would have won his Oscar, but they at that moment must have made the decision or indecision to not eject him. So there was no affirmative act to eject him, which I don't know if that was purposeful or if they could not make that decision so quickly because of the backlash that really would have happened too if they had ejected him and he'd won an Oscar. That could have caused a publicity nightmare as well. So I think a lot of back and forth must have been happening, and they just made the decision to let it lie until the next day, I think.
We could be a fly on the wall in those discussions. So I'm curious, could Chris Rock sue the Academy for allowing it to happen and then not removing Will Smith after it happened? And also, could Will Smith sue the Academy if his Oscar is taken away?
First of all, I don't think his Oscar will be taken away. That would be a severe punishment. They did not take away Roman Polanski's Oscars. The Academy hasn't implemented severe punishment like that for people that have been convicted of major crimes.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.